In life, we often find ourselves in situations where danger surrounds us from all sides. At that moment, it feels like everything is over. But do you know that very moment of the end could actually be the beginning of something new? Many people get scared and give up at that point. But there are some who hold on to their goals, and they are the ones who create history. One day, a deer was wandering in the forest in search of water. Its throat was parched, but even after searching for a long time, it couldn't find any water. After a while, exhausted, it sat under a tree. Suddenly, it heard the sound of a river. It ran toward the sound and found a huge river. Seeing the river, the deer felt overjoyed, like it had found a new life. It quickly went to the river and bent down to drink. Just then, it heard a noise to its right. It looked and saw a hunter aiming an arrow at it. Then it looked to the left and noticed a lion hiding behind the bushes. Turning around in panic, it saw a terrifying fire approaching. Danger had surrounded it from all sides. The deer paused for a moment, thinking deeply, and then decided, since death is certain, I'll at least drink water before I die. At that very moment, dark clouds gathered, and it started raining. The fire was put out, and because of the rain, the hunter accidentally shot the lion with his arrow. The lion then charged toward the hunter. Meanwhile, the deer stayed focused on drinking water. When it finally lifted its head, it saw that both the hunter and the lion were gone. Looking back, it saw the fire had also disappeared. The lesson from this story is like the deer. Problems in our life come from all directions, but panicking won't help. We need to stay calm, think clearly, and focus on our goals. The deer had options. It could have jumped into the river or run in different directions, but it stayed committed to its goal, drinking water. In our lives too, problems may surround us, but if we stay focused on our work, those problems will eventually go away on their own. Therefore, to solve life's problems, we need courage, patience, and the ability to make the right decisions. Don't just be afraid. Keep working. Never worry about what the world will say. Just keep doing your work. One day, the world will look at you in awe. If you believe this story should reach more people, don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to stay with us. I'll be back again with another story like this.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're jumping into something I think, well, pretty much everyone can relate to. You know that feeling, right? When life isn't just throwing challenges your way, but it feels like everything is hitting you all at once. Danger seems to be coming from every single direction, and you just think, okay, this is it, it's over. That really crushing sense of despair, where it just feels like you can't possibly move.
Yeah, paralysis.
Exactly. But what if, and this is the core idea today, what if that very moment, that feeling of utter hopelessness, could actually be a beginning? Like the start of something totally new, maybe even transformative.
It's a powerful idea, isn't it? Turning crisis on its head.
Right. So our mission today, for you listening, is to figure out how just pure, unwavering focus, even when things seem absolutely impossible, how that focus can maybe lead to surprising solutions, how it can empower you when you're facing those overwhelming moments. And we're going to explore this through a really fascinating narrative called The Deer's Dilemma, Focus in Adversity.
It's a great source for this. Because, the natural reaction in that kind of overwhelming situation is often just fear, panic.
Or just giving up.
Exactly. You get scared, you give up. But this story suggests something else. It hints that the ones who manage to hold on to their goals, they're the ones who actually create history.
That sets a pretty high bar right away. It's not just about surviving, but maybe thriving through focus.
Precisely. It's about resilience, but maybe a different kind than we usually think about.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Let's dive into the story itself. Picture this. A deer, wandering in a forest. It's desperately thirsty, searching everywhere for water, just can't find any. Throat's parched.
You can feel the desperation building.
Totally. And after searching for ages, it's just exhausted, completely drained. It finally slumps down under a tree, probably thinking, well, this is hopeless.
That point of near surrender.
But then, suddenly it hears something. Faintly at first, but then clearer. The sound of a river. Instant hope. You can imagine the energy surge, right? Forgetting the exhaustion. It just sprints toward that sound, and then it sees it a huge river. The source says it was overjoyed, like it had found a new life. Just pure relief.
And that feeling, that initial struggle, the desperate search, and then finding relief, that's so universal, isn't it?
Absolutely. We've all felt that,
Mhm.
looking for an answer, a solution.
And that moment of finding it,
Yeah.
finally. But sometimes that relief itself can be tricky. It can make us let our guard down.
Yeah, you think you're safe, you think the struggle's over.
Precisely. And that's often when the real test begins.
And boy, does it begin here. This is where it gets really interesting, because just as the deer lowers its head to take that first much-needed drink,
Just at that moment of relief.
everything changes instantly. To its right, it suddenly sees a hunter, aiming an arrow
Mhm.
directly at it.
Oh, wow.
It snaps its head to the left. There's a lion hiding in the bushes, ready to pounce.
Okay, that's bad.
And it gets worse. It looks behind, probably in sheer panic, and sees this wall of fire, a forest fire raging, coming right towards it.
Unbelievable. Hunter, lion, fire, all at once.
Yeah, I mean, talk about being cornered. The source says danger had surrounded it from all sides. No escape route seems obvious.
And what's fascinating there is that perfect storm. It's the kind of thing that triggers immediate panic, right? Cognitive overload.
Your brain just shorts out.
Exactly. Analysis paralysis. You've got the hunter threat, the predator threat, the environmental threat, all hitting your senses at once.
Fight, flight, or freeze kicks in hard.
Right. The amygdala, your brain's alarm system, just goes into overdrive. Rational thought becomes almost impossible because every option looks like certain death. It just feels impossible to act.
So what does the deer do? It's facing certain death from 3 directions. Does it jump in the river? Maybe get away from the fire, but what about the hunter? Or other dangers in the water?
What does it do?
Well, the source says it paused for a moment, thinking deeply, which is always incredible, right?
Yeah.
Pausing in that chaos.
Instead of just reacting blindly.
Exactly. And then it makes this, well, it seems like an insane decision. It thinks, and I'm quoting, "Since death is certain, I'll at least drink water before I die."
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It's unexpected.
Totally counterintuitive.
Yeah.
It decides to stick with its original goal, getting that drink despite everything. That, for me, is the absolute core of the story. That choice.
That choice is huge. If we connect this to the bigger picture, that's a massive psychological shift.
Yeah.
It's not giving into panic. It's not scattering its energy, trying to, maybe dodge the arrow and the lion and the fire somehow.
Which seems impossible anyway.
Right. Instead, it selects one fundamental goal, its immediate need, thirst, and commits to it. It's like an act of defiance against the chaos.
Choosing focus over fear.
Precisely. It's prioritizing. It's saying, okay, the external situation is overwhelming, but I can control this one thing, my focus on quenching my thirst. It's almost like it anchors itself in that single action.
It doesn't make the dangers vanish,
Yeah.
but it changes the deer's internal state.
Exactly. It reclaims a bit of control internally, even when the external world is out of control. That mental discipline is key.
And what happens next is, well, it's pretty extraordinary. It feels almost like a miracle unfolds while the deer is just focused on drinking. It hasn't run, it hasn't jumped, it's just drinking.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat here.
So at that exact moment, dark clouds gather overhead, like really suddenly. And it starts to pour rain, not just a shower, a heavy downpour.
Whoa!
And instantly, the rain puts out the forest fire. The fire behind it, gone.
Okay, that's one threat down. Incredible timing.
But wait, there's more. Because of the rain, the hunter's grip slips, so the bowstring gets wet, something happens. And the arrow he fires misses the deer
Yes.
and hits the lion instead.
No way. That's amazing.
Yeah. And of course, the lion, now wounded and enraged, doesn't care about the deer anymore. It charges straight at the hunter.
So the other two threats basically take each other out of the equation.
Exactly. This unbelievable chain reaction happens. And all the while, the deer, it stayed focused on drinking water. It just kept drinking until it wasn't thirsty anymore.
That steadfastness is incredible. But it really makes you wonder, doesn't it, about that connection between the deer's internal focus and how things unfolded externally.
Right. Was it just incredible luck? A massive coincidence?
Or does that intense, unwavering focus somehow, I don't know, create the space for solutions? Does calming the internal chaos allow the external chaos to resolve itself in unexpected ways?
Does our own state somehow influence events? Or at least allow us to perceive solutions we'd miss if we were panicking?
It's a deep question. It feels like by not adding its own panic to the mix, the deer allowed the other elements to interact and, in this case, neutralize each other. Its stillness became its strength.
So the deer finally finishes drinking, lifts its head, And what does it see?
A clear path.
Totally clear. The hunter and the lion, gone. Dealt with each other, looks back. The fire, gone.
Yeah.
Doused by the rain, the danger has just evaporated. The way forward is safe.
Wow. What a story.
Isn't it? Okay, so let's unpack this. What are the big takeaways here? What does the source want us, and you listening, to really get from this?
Well, the main message seems pretty clear, right? Just like the deer, problems in our own lives. They often feel like they come from everywhere at once. It's easy to feel completely overwhelmed.
That feeling of being besieged.
Exactly. But the core lesson is panicking doesn't help. In fact, it makes things worse. It clouds your judgment.
Uses up precious energy.
Right. So the advice is stay calm, try to think clearly, and crucially, focus on your goals. Reprioritize what actually matters right now.
And the story emphasizes the deer could have tried other things, right? Run, jump.
Yes, that's important. It wasn't that there were no other actions possible, but it chose to stick to its original fundamental need, drinking water. That highlights the deliberate nature of focus. It's an active choice, not just passive waiting.
So applying that, what does this mean for you listening right now? Maybe you're facing your own hunter, lion, and fire situation, whatever form that takes.
Yeah, maybe multiple deadlines, family pressures, financial worries, all hitting at once.
So the idea is, if you can somehow find that courage to stay focused on your core task, your main goal, your essential work,
Even amidst all that chaos.
then maybe, just maybe, those external problems might start to resolve themselves, or at least lose their power over you, their power to paralyze you.
It's less about magic, perhaps, and more about how your own internal state shifts your perception and ability to act. The source highlights 3 key things needed: courage, the guts to pick a focus despite fear; patience, the ability to stay with it, to not just react instantly;
Right, not flitting between worries.
and the ability to make the right decisions, which often comes from that courage and patience. Clarity emerges from calm focus.
It's about directing your energy wisely, isn't it? Not letting the external chaos dictate your internal state.
Precisely. And think about the brain science, too. When you actively focus on a task, you engage your prefrontal cortex, the thinking part of your brain. And that can actually help quiet down the amygdala, the fear center. So by choosing a focus, even something simple like the deer drinking water, you're sending a signal, I'm still acting with purpose.
I'm still in control of something.
Exactly. And that can free up mental bandwidth. You might notice shifts or opportunities you'd totally miss if you were just panicking. So the problem's going away. It might be external changes, or it might be you finally seeing the way through because your mind is clearer.
That makes so much sense. It grounds the story in something really practical. And the source ends with this really powerful charge, sort of a call to action.
Yeah, what's that?
It says, don't just be afraid. Keep working. Never worry about what the world will say. Just keep doing your work. One day, the world will look at you in awe.
Wow, that's strong. It really emphasizes that internal drive, that commitment to your own path, regardless of the external noise or threats.
Yeah, like the most powerful response to chaos is more focus, deeper commitment. So that really wraps up our deep dive into the deer's dilemma. The core message feels incredibly empowering, doesn't it? That choosing focus, choosing calm determination when everything seems to be falling apart, that's transformative.
It really is.
It's a reminder that maybe your greatest strength against all those external pressures is actually your internal state, your commitment to what truly matters, finding that anchor.
And maybe, just to leave you with something to really chew on, a final thought building on this.
Yeah.
The story shows the external threats: hunter, lion, fire disappearing, which is great, obviously. Fantastic outcome for the deer.
Definitely.
But what if the most important disappearance isn't the external stuff? What if it's the disappearance of the fear and the panic inside the deer, inside us?
Interesting.
So the question to ponder is, does that unwavering focus maybe do more than just solve the external problem? Does it fundamentally change our relationship to problems themselves?
Regardless of whether the fire goes out or the lion runs off.
Exactly. Does it transform us, making us more resilient, more centered, more aware of our own capacity, even if the external situation doesn't magically fix itself? Is the real victory actually winning the internal battle against chaos?
Wow. That shifts the perspective entirely, doesn't it? What solving the problem really means. That's definitely something to think about. We hope this deep dive gave you not just a story, but some real food for thought on how you might find your focus in your own challenging moments. Thanks so much for joining us on the deep dive. We'll catch you next time for another exploration.